How on earth do you expect the Palestinians to be able to rebuild this? With what means? With what money?
That would be a good question if you were actually asking in good faith, but you aren't. You're just saying, oh my gosh, look, Gaza's destroyed. How could they ever recover? But to answer you very quickly and shortly, if a governing authority survives a war, or if they return to power after the war, then the legal responsibility to rebuild the place is on them. Now, who is the governing authority of Gaza? Oh, that's right, Hamas. And you ask, where are they going to get the money? Well, maybe you should start by redirecting some of that money that has been funneled directly to the leaders of Hamas who live in Qatar, who are worth, what, $12 billion? Now, of course, $12 billion isn't going to be enough to rebuild Gaza. There is going to have to be some international help. Just like Kuwait, okay? Iraq invaded Kuwait in 1980, and afterwards, Kuwait rebuilt itself with the help of the international community. That is what is going to happen to Gaza. That's what everyone has been saying. That has been the plan all along. But they were responsible, even when there was a war that occurred within their own territory. That's how the law works. Hamas invaded Israel on October 7th. Hamas deliberately embeds itself in a civilian population, and literally much, if not all, of the civilian infrastructure in Gaza is not off of limits because of the way Hamas chooses to fight. That's why it's been leveled. And it's not Israel's fault that the Arabs have never chose to live in peace with Israel or alongside a Jewish state. And it's not their fault that the people of Gaza elected Hamas democratically. Even though Hamas continues to not hold elections, they still overwhelmingly support Hamas as a governing body. And they choose where the resources go. They control everything in Gaza, from the resources to whatever comes out in the media. It's not Israel's fault that they have diverted resources that could be used to better the lives of the people in Gaza for themselves and their terror activity. That's Hamas's fault, buddy. The most pitiful thing about all of you anti-Israel people is you act as if the Palestinian people and Hamas have no human agency, like they aren't responsible for their own decisions or the consequences that come from them.
This was never about the hostages. It was never about Hamas. This was about leveling Gaza so that corrupt politicians, corrupt corporations, and Israel could go in there and build something atop the bones of the dead Palestinians.
Yeah, then why did it take all of that to get the hostages back? Oh, that's right, because Hamas kept fighting, even through that destruction. That's what it took to get them to come to the table, dude. And actually, I don't even think it was that. It was Qatar pressuring them, because they continue to fight even now after they've agreed to a peace agreement. What are you talking about? And regarding the peace agreement that they signed, it said that they're not going to remain in power. And you know what they said? Nah, we are. And if you speak out against us and you're a Palestinian, we're going to take you out and put you on the street and put a blindfold across your eyes and shoot you in the back of the head. And no one is buying land. He accused Trump and Jared Kushner of buying land. That's illegal. You can't do that. And no, they have not done that. People tend to forget history and the fact that it takes a lot of devastation to bring radical groups and societies to surrender, like Germany and Japan in World War II. And it takes a lot for Hamas because they're a death cult who is willing to sacrifice everything.